Welcome to today's T20 Daily Show from beautiful Barbados. I have with me a very special guest today. Remember the name? I prefer superstar under construction, Carlos Brathwaite. Carlos, how are you?
Flattered. Yeah, it's nice to be home in paradise. You can see beautiful blue waters, sun is out, sun is shining, and the vibe is nice, so could only be happy.
Okay, well, we get straight into it. T20 World Cup. You've been around, you've been doing broadcasts all over the Caribbean. How's that experience been for you? What have you seen?
Yeah, it's been really good. I've done a few ICC events now, but I really feel as though this tournament I've matured more into the role of a commentator, understanding a bit more of the media side of things. I always wanted to be the analytic side of things, so I want to put the viewer in my head, how I see the game, having played it, what if a bad shot is played, why that shot may have been played, and not just berating the player for playing it, and kind of show both sides of what could have happened and what did happen and why. And I think I've been getting better at that, a bit more punchy, a bit more impactful, so still a lot of work to be done, but I really enjoyed my stint and I feel as though I've grown in the commentator role over the last couple of years.
Yeah, punchy. He4 is close, but I'll get back to that. I'd certainly get back to that. India versus Bangladesh today. Target is just about 196. Your thoughts?
Yeah, India 196, 197 the target. I think it'll be too much for Bangladesh. The pitch in Antigua has been nice, probably one of the best I've seen in the Caribbean whilst touring during the World Cup. But India just has too much power with the ball in hand, and you only have to look to one man, Jasprit Bumrah. And I think they'll overpower the Bangladeshi batters, and 197 will prove insurmountable.
Okay, Super 8. We spoke about the pitch, the conditions at North-South. You know the World Cup, it started a little sketchy, being in the USA for the first time with the drop-in pitches coming from thousands of miles away, and one or two of the Caribbean surfaces not playing as well as we would have liked. But Super 8, how conditions look for you?
Oh, I think they've been a lot better. I think they've learned a lot of lessons from the mistakes made in the preliminary stages, and I'm not an expert on pitches by any stretch of imagination. I've actually been now trying to educate myself, and what I've seen throughout the preliminaries is a lot of green grass. And when I think back to myself playing first class cricket, playing for West Indies at home, I can't remember much good pitches in the West Indies with lots of live green grass. The pitches play better in my estimation from history if it's hard and bare or even covering of brown grass. So then the moisture is rolled out of it and it plays a lot more evenly. And I think that's the change that they've made. If you look at the Barbados pitch, the Antigua pitch and the St. Lucia pitch so far in the Super 8s, those are the subtle changes that I think they've made, and that's why they've had positive impacts, higher scores and better cricket.
Sounds like you'll be getting a role pretty soon on the pitch report. But I just want to go back to the very beginning of your career, first class cricket, the game that turned it for you.
I'd probably say my debut.
I know it's your debut, that's why I asked.
You were there as well, offering guidance. And I just remember being called into the combined campuses and colleges team, and Floyd Reefer, who I have a lot of respect for, he basically handpicked me and said, I'm going to give you a role, you can do a job for us. And I stepped into a team with this man, a real leader in the dressing room, and a few other names that are very established around first class cricket. And I just know I had a point to prove. And the first game I missed out, I was working really hard, and I remember yourself, Ryan Austin, who played a test or a couple of tests for West Indies as well. The message was always keep working, the chance will come. And then fast forward to that debut game, someone missed out with a back injury. I came in, and it's at those moments that you feel you're ready because you've done the preparation. And in that game, bowled 25 overs on the trot. I took a 7-wicket haul, bringing us to the brink of victory. I think we lost on the last day by 1 wicket, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that breakthrough game for me, it was the perfect mix of my batting, getting 60 odd in a pressure situation with the bat in hand, and then coming back with the ball and backing it up, showing my all-round prowess. There was a little bit of nerves, But then we had this thing in the dressing room where someone always had to put their hand up, and on that day it was me, thankfully. And I think it's after that performance that people started to, I guess, appreciate my skill set a bit more, and actually think that I could make a career in first class cricket. So yeah, so definitely that was the breakthrough game.
All right, so a note to Ian Bishop, the construction started sometime around 2011. There's a couple of things I want to get your thoughts on. It's time for what's trending. West Indies versus USA. First of all, Carlos, what an atmosphere.
Yeah, it was electric. This is the first time I've actually done commentary at Kensington, and obviously you have the new grandstand that fills that massive area that would allow the wind to pass through, and that was full. It was chock-a-block, and the atmosphere was absolutely electric. It obviously helped that two hometown boys in Roston Chase and Shea Hope were chief destructor and destroyer with bat and ball. Just want to shout out to the West Indies fans. I know it's very cliched, but you are our 12th man. And if West Indies are going to go anywhere close to winning this tournament at home, we need you. Come out in full force wherever the games are being played and support the boys. We rally.
Well, you spoke to the commentary and the atmosphere. I was on comms last night as well. I mean, it was in lowly radio. I know you were over in the big house, but I actually had to turn up my comms. The atmosphere was so electric, it gave me a different sense of energy. So that was wonderful to see. And I personally believe in your rallying call. West Indies' chances, though, getting all these Super 8s.
The game against South Africa is going to be tough. I don't think many people gave South Africa a chance, and they've scraped all the way through until now. And then they put in a quite complete performance against England. They did a lot well, and they're undefeated as a result of that. So I think pre-tournament, if you'd ask West Indies, it comes down to this: you versus South Africa to qualify for the semi-finals. Will you take that? I think everyone would say yes. However, they've been the stutter against England with the West Indies. South Africa have been clinical. I have to say, once they get past South Africa, and I do think they will. I don't want to take too much from the 3-match series before the World Cup, as loads of players were missing, especially important IPL players. But they've had the better of South Africa. I would say 6-2, 3-0 just before the World Cup, 3-2 in South Africa. So on recent history, you'd have to say West Indies. Being at home, you'd have to say West Indies. But on form and the fact that they're unbeaten, South Africa still has a really good chance. However, if West Indies do get out of the Super 8s, tipping them to go all the way.
Miss one thing, in your heart, West Indies.
Yeah,
that was clear.
In my heart.
Speaking of that 12th man, injured Jason Holder, who was replaced in the West Indies T20 squad, he was the one that walked out that trophy at Kensington Oval. We caught up with Jason for a masterclass. He was talking about his cover drive.
Of course he would.
Tell me about it.
Elegant. Tall, handsome man. Gets on the front foot, leans into it nicely, and I say it's a beautiful cover drive and does not move as it beats the field and hit the rope. There could be nothing more elegant than that.
Well, Sam actually caught up with Jason Holder at the Police Sports Ground to go through that elegant cover drive.
Jason, thanks for joining me. Teaching me how to play the perfect cover drive today.
Oh, all right, where to start? All right, for me, I guess with batting, it's all about head position, and then people say, well, head and body position. I think footwork is a little bit overrated in a sense, but I think if you get your body weight going towards the ball or in the direction in which you want to play the ball, I think that is, for me, the most important thing, and that starts with the head. So yeah, to just talk you through it a bit, for me, it's just about lining it up, you know, so if the bowlers were turn over, you know, tend to just try to get to off stump, you know, hands and head staying on off. And for me, it's just really just trying to get my head going towards the line of the ball. So with bowlers bowling at 90 miles per hour, sometimes it's difficult to say I'm just going to stride out and get my foot as close as possible to it. But more or less, if I get a decent stride in, but my body weight, head position is that everything is going towards the line of where I want to play, then it's just really just getting it under your eyes and just getting there and extending your arms through. And there are a number of ways you could play it. You know, some people play it like check drives where you just come and you just really show them the full face and just time it off. And then there's some where you can just line it up. You know, everything just falls into place. You line it up well, you pick it up well, and then you'll be able to just not only get there and check it, but just extend your arms through it and just follow through. And I just think that's the basis of it. You know, just more or less, you know, just lining it up. Trying to keep your head still, obviously, and then, you know, getting that body weight, going towards the line of the ball, and just either checking it or extending it.
Last of all, three tips to up-and-coming cricketers that want to play the cover drive.
3 tips. I would say, first of all, picking up the line of the ball. Second of all, keeping your head very still. And third of all, play it as late as you possibly can on the ice. Whether or not you want to extend, you still have to allow it to come to you. I think a lot of people get so caught up with the extension or trying to hit it as hard as they possibly can and end up going out in front of them. You know, I think it's very important you allow it to come on the ice and still being able to extend, check. You're definitely in more control there.
Cool. Jason, thanks so much, man.
No worries.
That's how you play the cover drive, guys.
So Carlos, a joy to see such a majestic cover drive. Question for you is, can you name any other players, or rather, who has the best cover drive you've seen?
Good question. You'd always have to say if you're at Kohli, Babar Azam, 2 pioneers in our era. Shea Hope, to add to that list. Shamar Brooks, good friend of mine, also a Barbadian. And I want to throw a name out there as well. Laura Wolvart. Sensational cover drive in the female game. Very elegant, very classy, and an absolute joy to watch her bat.
So we've been speaking about elegant cover drives. I have something that runs contrary to that. It's the edge of the bat. It's called the edge ledge. My man Sam, he's been out and about in Barbados getting competitors to compete in the edge ledge. It's a keep up of sorts, you know the game. We're trying to see if anyone can overtake Deshaun, who's topped the leaderboard so far.
Right, welcome Simran. Lovely to meet you. Another episode of the edge ledge. The rules are you have to get as many taps on the edge of the bat as possible in 30 seconds. Okay. If you drop it, you've got to start again.
Oh, okay.
You can use 2 hands as well.
Okay,
it's quite heavy. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's harder than it looks, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ooh, 11 was good. 1, oh. 1, 2. Unlucky. 1, 2. Keep going, you got 10 seconds.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Time. Jack from Sheffield.
Yep.
And are you an edge ledge?
I'm an edge ledge, 100%.
Okay, we'll find out then. So aim of the game, you've got 30 seconds
Yep.
to get as many taps on the side of the bat as possible.
Yep.
On the count of 3. And here we go. Top of the leaderboard is 52 right now, okay?
Yeah.
So, ready? Oh, hang on. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. 50. Time. I think that was about 84. I think it's 84, 85.
Raise the bat.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. But all thanks to Buffalo Cricket.
Okay, so we're back from the boat, our little cruise. Carlos, how was that?
No, it was good. It was a good watch. I am crap at just doing that. If you bowled to me, I'll probably edge it a lot better. But yeah, that was sensational.
So is that your way of telling us that you will not try our edge ledge competition?
Quietly, yes.
So we were just out checking the sea turtles. A lot of fans will be in for the England-USA feature. Jomel Warrican, we caught up with him and he gave his recommendations on what to do and where to go on the island. I'm a tourist. Come to Barbados to enjoy this lovely atmosphere, culture, weather, and the finals at Kensington Oval. One place you will recommend for them to try?
In Barbados?
In Barbados.
See, a lot of people say oysters, but oysters is not my cup of tea. But I think a lot of tourists will like some place like, in terms of food, Just Grilling.
Okay.
I think Just Grilling is very, give you some good variety of food. For drinks, I like to say Six Mix, a good atmosphere. Yeah, Six Mix.
Or visit the Mount Gay Rum Distillery.
That's an option as
Bajan
well.
rum is always the best.
Yeah.
Six Mix, a Warrican recommendation. Not going to get into that on set. What are your recommendations for food spots and places to go?
Village Eats, so it's about 5-7 minutes from Oystins, 2 minutes from Sheraton Centre Mall. Nice enclosed area. It's actually behind my house and behind the old Trident Sports Workshop. It's real intimate, really tight-knit. We sell some street food, so you can get your burgers, your grilled chicken, grilled fish, your chips, pizzas, wings, and a fan favorite, pigtails.
Well, guys, I didn't hear him mention that he'll be giving out free autographs and memorabilia, since that it is his business that we are supporting. Anyway, serious business now. The tussle between USA and England.
Yeah, I think England just has too much power for most teams. USA has made a good fist of it, and what I've really enjoyed about how they've played their cricket, they've tried to go toe-to-toe with the big guns. They fell short just through to lack of quality and lack of experience, but they've been a very good watch. I think England will overpower them, as I mentioned, and they should win quite convincingly. There's one caveat to that victory, and that's potential rain. The rain is forecast for their game. England will not want to be at the mercy of the elements once again. But that's the only way I can see USA coming out with a point at least if the rain falls.
Top run scorers, wicket takers?
In the game, what I love to see Aaron Jones sign off in style with a massive 50.
Could I just caution you to stop speaking with your heart?
All right, with my head, Phil Salt loves the Caribbean conditions, really attacking, has the opportunity to bat all 20 overs, also been in really good nick, and he's someone that has now learned how to turn 30s into 60s, 70s and 80s, and as you saw against the West Indies, even go all the way and bring the game home. So I think when it comes to highest run scores, he'd definitely be top of the list. Jofra Archer, I think that's a bit of head and heart. With his extreme pace at home, if he is risked, just through sheer pace, power, skill, he has enough tools, whether with new ball, to outgun the USA batters, or if he comes back in the back end, the variation and the consistency, nailing Yorkers, to be able to get a handful. I think he could clean up and get a 4 or 5 for.
I promise you I will get back to Heathrow as close. Is that because you were planning to go back to Bridgewater?
Bridgewater's been good. I've enjoyed my couple games that I've played, enjoyed the love that I've felt from the club. Heathrow is close. I got a little bit of stick for it. And it's funny because that throwaway line came on the back of me more so celebrating your Scotlands, your USAs, and the fact that this World Cup so far has seen the smaller teams go toe-to-toe with the big guns. There's so many things that you can think of results-wise. USA beating Pakistan, Nepal running South Africa close. So for me, it embodied why we need to have more teams. I think cricket as a sport is much of a closed shop at the moment, and I really enjoyed the expansion this World Cup, and then the expansion was rewarded with a lot more closely fought games between associates and full member nations. So my statement actually was at the end of a passage of speaking like that and about that, and I really wanted it to more be a celebration of the associates and the lesser ranked nations. But the Heathrow is close, definitely ruffled a few feathers, but I never thought that England would be in immense danger of not making it. You always knew they'd overpower Oman and Namibia. The only thing obviously is the elements, having fared in the first game against Scotland as well. And once Australia did what they had to do and be morally sound and beat Scotland, we knew England would go through. And I think when you look at it on the basis of quality, experience, and knockout cricket and match winners, England has to be right up there, not only to qualify for the Super 8s, but to potentially go all the way as well.
Well, finishing strongly in the back end, as England more than likely will do. Spoken like a true commentator, budding young commentator. Carlos, I want to thank you for joining me on today's episode. Guys, we'll see you again for another episode of T20 Daily, the Harbour Lights location, same time, around the same place.